It's a way for really anyone to get very directly involved in conservation. A lot of privately protected areas come from, people being in love with a place, put quite simply, and they want to protect it.
Talking specifically about the protected area IUCN targets, the 17% for terrestrial and the 10% for marine. If we don't protect that, we don't really have anything. We need those sources of rich biodiversity to draw from for the rest of the world.
So in terms of meeting their international commitments, it really helps. So IUCN Target 11 is due to be met by 2020. Governments need to conserve 17% of their land and 10% of their marine area in effectively managed, equitable, representative and well-connected systems of protected areas. And privately protected areas can really help with that.
A lot of focus has been given on the area and the area of coverage, and not so much focus on the representativity and on the well-connected protected areas. And it's these two areas that I think privately protected areas have a really important role to play.
So they're being used to fill gaps in systems where it's difficult to find other forms. They're quick and they can be used to create linkages between protected areas.
So some of the challenges include recognition. It's a fairly new concept in many ways. Other challenges can be legal arrangements. Often there isn't enough legislation or other mechanisms to allow these lands to be protected in the way the landowner wants. For example, mining might still be available to be used even though a landowner doesn't want it to be.
Over time, it's not just a case of buying the land, and it's often relatively easy to raise money to buy the land, but you also have to maintain it and manage it over time, and that can be really challenging.
Government needs to look at what prevents people setting up PPAs, what can make it easier. Are there any barriers to entry which are not always, obvious?
There's countries where the privately protected areas are encouraged by the government, and there's countries that they are not. How? It wants to be approached by the different authorities and the landowners. If there's a will, there's a way.